everybody, my name is Eric. I'm a youth and answer for gospel. I know we're in the midst of a pandemic and we're starting to get up at the age where we need to look for a job. So I want to know, how do we get a job?
Hey! You heard that new album, bro? That motherfucker! Man, today's gonna be a good day. Alright. Let's see who we got here today. What's his name? Oh, Ronald Jenkins! Ronald Jenkins! Hey! I think he said your name, bro! Go get that job, bro! Hello, Ronald.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, sir.
And sit, please. So, Ronald, tell me about yourself, sir.
Well, I'm from Miami, Florida, but I just recently graduated from the University of Georgia. I have 3 siblings. I have 2 older brothers and a younger sister. I have a dog. His name is Chase. I've been dealing with farm animals and animals in general my whole life. It's just been a hobby I've been very, very interested in.
That's nice. Now, I wanted to ask, are you seeking full-time or part-time?
Yeah, I'm actually seeking full-time.
Why?
Because I'm trying to get, established. I'm just not graduating college. So I'm trying to get established in the world, in this company, trying to get my feet wet a little bit, and trying to get deep into the company, trying to get established.
Okay. A lot of people answer that question, and I want to know, can we count on you to be on time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, what makes you a prime candidate for this position then?
What makes me a prime candidate is I'm very loyal to my company. I'm very loyal to my job. My job always comes first if I don't have any other, responsibilities to take care of. And it's just, I'm very devoted into what I do.
That's awesome. I don't have any more questions, but I will get back with you. Jacoby Williams! Jacoby Williams! Jacoby Williams! Yo! That's me! Yo! Who are you? I'm Jacoby Williams! I came to get me a D.O.B. Hold up! A J.O.B.
What? Run that back.
I came to get me a D.O.B. Hold up! A J.O.B. Dap me up, brother! What's good? Hold up. Low key. Just sit. Yeah, all right, my brother? I'm fine. Tell me about yourself, Jacoby. Well, my name's Jacoby Williams. I'm from Vermont, Washington. I got 10 brothers and sisters, and we were raised really hard. But I'm the one that's trying to make it out, you feel me? Okay. Did you graduate high school? Nah, but I went back to school and got my GED though. Okay, are you seeking full-time or part-time? Man, I'm seeking any position y'all give me, son. Can we count on you to be on time? Man, I'll be 2 minutes early if you want me to, my brother. Why do you want this position? Man, I'm just seeking for a job because, I just want that money. Okay, Jacoby, we don't have any positions open. Hold up now! I see how it is. I know you didn't like me. It's all good, though. Peace!
Good afternoon. afternoon, everybody. This is yours truly, Brother Chris Carr Jr. We thank God for each and every one of you that's tuning in. We have a very special guest with us here today, Miss Yarbrough. She is a supervisor in the government, and she's going to just give us some interview tips and help us get to where we want to be in life. So we truly thank God for you, and we want you to come on in, Miss Yarbrough, and just tell us a little bit about yourself, and just get this thing started.
All right. Thanks, Minister Carr. So my name is Rebecca Yarbrough, and I am a supervisor with the government, and I have did several interviews and have a wealth of background when it comes to employees, job skills, and my background is accounting. However, I do have employees who are developing themselves for their career aspirations. So I have a little bit of experience dealing with that along with my accounting background as well.
Awesome. That's awesome. So, to get this thing started, I just wanted to ask, what are some basics, for, preparing for that job interview that you might be having coming up soon? I know a lot of young people, it's turning into summertime, and, when summertime comes, a lot of them don't have the opportunity to work. So they decide to get those summer jobs. So what would you say are some basics for them for interview time?
Research and preparing yourself. So preparation is the key. You want to research the industry to make sure that it's a good job fit for you. You want to look at the job description. You want to make sure that it ties in with your skills, your abilities, and your education and your level that you are at in your work career. You also want to research the business, find out about the business, find out information about how many employees, find out what they actually do. You want to have a wealth of information and be very knowledgeable about the corporation when you do arrive, if there are questions that ask. And you want to have a resume. And even though you may just be in high school or it's a summer job, you want to put down your volunteer information. You want to be prepared. So a resume, researching your industry to make sure that it's a good fit. And finally, which is important too, you want to make sure that you are prepared. And by being prepared means a mock interview. You want to research some interview questions, find a friend, find a family member, find somebody that works in the career field is a supervisor that does interviews, and you want to sit down with them and do a mock interview to take you through some of the basic interview questions that will be asked. And this will help with you so you can be calm and not on the edge when you go into the interview, and you'll be able to do well.
Awesome. That's some great advice. I remember a question that was very just really rattled my mind. And it basically encompasses, how do you promote yourself? Because, there's people out there that are very modest or, very humble when it comes about talking about themselves. So how do you really, if they're asking you, why should we give you this position and not give so-and-so this position? How do you promote yourself in a position like that?
So you want to be comfortable and you want to be calm. So I always suggest to people before you go into an interview is to breathe, get there early, just try to calm, relax yourself, drink a little bit of water so you can get your vocal cords all ready. And you want to be able to sell yourself. You want to be able to talk in a good conversation where you can just let it flow, the conversation flow, and you connect with your audience. Because you could be interviewing with the panel, or you could be interviewing with 101. You want to be able to make sure that you are confident, because people want to see confidence. You're confident in who you are, and you're able to talk about yourself. And if you're not, this is where your practice come in. You need to go home, practice in front of a mirror, and you need to talk to yourself. You need to kind of pace your words and slow down, make sure there's no awkward pauses, and you want to be able to have a flowy conversation in talking to your audience. So practice makes perfect. A lot of practicing, selling yourself, telling people about yourself, being able to talk about your previous experience and your current experience. And that is how you'll get past that. How do I talk about myself? Just let it be a flowy conversation and just be very confident and excited. People want to see that. Because if you don't believe in yourself, they're not going to believe in you either.
Yeah. So, one thing you kept chiming on is confidence. And, one thing that I remember coming up that really built my confidence was playing sports. And I know a lot of people didn't have that, or today don't have that option.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, in terms of confidence, you know, you have to have people building you up, you know, because if
Mm-hmm.
you don't have someone build you up to the point where you can get somewhere, you're not going to
Mm-hmm.
have that overwhelming feeling on the inside that I can do this. So, you know, in terms of like talking yourself up in front of the mirror, yeah, I've done that before. And
Yeah,
there's nothing to be ashamed about. You have to talk
that's right.
yourself up and build yourself to the point
Right.
where you're like, all right, I can do this. I can make
Yeah.
it. And
Yes, be yourself.
yeah,
That's most important.
that's awesome.
Being yourself.
Great advice. And I hope whoever's out there is listening to that to really just be yourself and, you know, just
Mm-hmm.
trust the process because it's going to
That's
work out.
exactly right.
It's going to work out.
Good.
So, building on this, there's some, I know there's some do's at a job interview and there's some don'ts. So will you chime in on some previous experiences of what people should do and what they shouldn't do on a job
Okay.
interview?
So let's talk about a couple of do's, okay? You do want to be on time. That is so important. Even though that the prior interview that may be in session is running behind, you want to be on time. I always suggest 20 to 15 minutes early is always good. If you know you're going to be in traffic or you live in a bigger city, you need to leave an hour in advance. You need to get familiar with the area, especially if it's an employer that you're interested in working for. You may want to drive down the day before, find a parking lot, make sure that you have enough time to walk from the parking space to the building. So you want to be on time. Timeliness is important. Like I tell people, to be early is to be on time, and to be on time is to be late. So you need to be on time. That's one of the do's that you want. You want to make sure you always have copies of your resumes. Take copies with you, not one copy, take at least 10 copies. You never know if they need to have a copy to give to human resources immediately. They need to keep a copy on file. They may need to pass it along to another department that they may feel that you're more fit for. They may need a copy for other panel members that's in there. So you want to look prepared and you want to have your copies of your resume. Put it in a nice binder, or it can be in a vanilla folder, something that, look, dress for success, okay? Even though you may be going to a business that may be a, you know, blue collar job, you still want to dress for success. Should you wear a full suit? No, I would suggest you wear a polo top and maybe a business jacket for the men, a nice skirt and a blouse for the women. But you want to make sure you're dressed for success, okay? Do not go underdressed, and then you don't want to go overdressed. So that's where your research come in. Your research, driving by the business, see the business in action on a day-to-day work day. Go by and see what the employees dress like, see the atmosphere, you know. If you're allowed to go in the building, take a quick tour in the building by sitting in the lobby just to observe. But do your research, you know, research the business through social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Find out information about the company, okay? That's important. So you want to make sure you're on time. You want to make sure you dress for success and have copies of your resumes. And you want to make sure when you are there that you are confident. You are confident, okay? Go with confidence in you. Yes, you're going to be nervous. Yes, you're going to have a little fear, but get past that and say, this is mine for the asking. Speak it into existence and have a positive attitude. So that's what I would suggest for some do's, okay? You got to do that. All right, some don'ts. Don't be late. Don't be late, okay? And if you are late, communicate this information to the interview panel or to human resources or the manager, the supervisor, whoever you're meeting with. Communicate. And if you can't get that through an email, a text message, or a phone call, communicate that so they can reschedule the interview. Let them know well in advance, meaning that if you've left in time, you've had a flat or car accident, communicate that information. Just don't be a no-show, no response, okay? Communicate that information. So what you don't want to do, like I said, you don't want to be late. You want to make sure you dress appropriate, okay? You want to make sure you're going in there confident, sharp, and ready. You're not loud. You're not overbearing. You just want to make sure that you have a great interview, and you want to dress appropriate. You know, some things that we wear for active wear out in the yard, just a dress down day here at the house. You want to do that. You always want to smile. That's a do. And you don't want to frown. So you want to smile. You want to make sure you smile. You want to shake hands if you can, but due to COVID-19, so some of the, social distances, we have to keep that in mind. So a nice wave will be good, or just a nod or what have you, but that's important. What you don't want to do is not give eye contact. You need to give eye contact. Look them directly in their eye. Don't look down. Don't look forward. Make sure you have eye contact, okay? What you don't want to do is not go in there with questions. You want to have a list of questions that you want to know about the company. So some of the sample questions you can ask is, how is your training program when you come on board? What's the time frame from training? What type of benefits do you offer? You want to have some type of questions where you're showing them that you're interested in the position. Okay, so that's one of the things that you want to keep in mind when you're thinking about some don't do. So just don't do it. Stay away from certain questions, but make sure you stay in line with questions that shows your interest in the job and that that you're going to be an asset to the organization.
Awesome. On mentioning, while we're still on the don'ts of the, when you go to a job interview, what would you say would be the top things that would prevent a company from hiring an individual? What would you say would be those things? Would it in regards to a resume, or in regards to, just their presentation? Because I always hear that, first impression means everything. So, you just chime in on that as well.
Okay. So first impression does mean everything. So the way you present yourself, as, professional, with your being on time, the way that you're kind, your confidence, you directly look in someone's eye, giving them eye contact, that's important. So, and being on time, like I said, I can't say that enough because that's just like a pet peeve of mine. Be on time. So with that said, is that you want to make sure that your resume reflects your skills, your abilities, and your education. And one thing that you have to do is communicate and articulate very well. If you sit in there and use, I don't know, I never thought about that. Certain words and the way that you communicate is not effective, and it's not very professional for that setting. So be mindful when you're in there and you're trying to sell yourself. You got to sell yourself. You got to let them know that you are the best candidate for the position, okay? And you got to let them know that if they don't choose you, they're missing out, because just like they're looking at you, you're looking at them. So how bad you want the job, if that's a company or organization that you've been wanting to work, whether it's a summer internship or whether it's just a paid internship, or if it's just a job, for your career coming out of college, you have to sell yourself. You have to be confident. And a lot of times us employers, we're looking for confidence, abilities, as far as skills and abilities to do the job, a nice resume that lays that out, and someone that can communicate effectively. So that's important. And if you can't do that, that sometimes put you out of the pool of a running candidate for the position, because someone else may come behind them, come behind you in the interview and blow them away. So you got to make sure you're able to use keywords, of what you can as a team member and what you have done and results. You want to talk about your results of what you have done when you've been put on a project, your tasks, your capabilities. So that's important.
All right. And building on this, and you've already touched on college students, especially getting out of college and, pursuing a job automatically. I know it can be very tedious and very time consuming trying to find a position that's going to be right for you, because, people are leaving college with certain amount of debts. They're leaving college, don't have anything to offer outside, of I went to school for 4 years and this is all I have, and they're looking for these top tier jobs. So how would you encourage those college students who are probably, they went to interviews and they felt defeated because they didn't get the job that they needed, and we're on tough times right now. So
Right.
what kind of advice would you give to college students at this hour?
All right, for college students in this hour, the key to this is prayer. Prayer is the key.
Yes.
And faith unlocks the door. I'm telling you for a fact, you have to pray and tell the Lord what your heart's desires are, okay? Then you take that faith after that prayer and you put it into action. And to do that, for college students, you have to be very creative in what you do, because a lot of time your job experiences are just college jobs, working at different restaurants or fast food industries, or working on campus doing certain types of jobs in the bookstore or what have you, for example. So you need to zone in on your skills and capabilities of what you've done on the campus, whether it's the clubs that you were involved in, different types of honor societies that you've probably been involved. Key in on customer service skills, which are very important, that you have learned dealing with other students and professional staff and professors. So you would zone on those and use your volunteer experience. A lot of people don't know how important that volunteer experience creates skills and knowledge for you for that job. The biggest thing that I see that college students are not doing when they get out of college is they are not being open-minded, okay? They have to be open-minded and understand, I want an entry-level position to get my feet wet, to get me started so that I can build on that foundation and move up to the next level. A lot of college students nowadays want to come straight into a six-figure income. Is that possible? Some. It is. It depends. Is it for all? Not for all. So you need to be open-minded, and you need to go in with a willing mind to work and grab that experience, because knowledge is power. So once you learn that job, that skill, that ability, that knowledge, no one says you have to stay there. That could be your stepping stone to move on to the next level. So always look for entry-level positions. Don't overlook those. Those are great opportunities to learn from someone that's been with the organization for many years. I have a friend that I've been friends with for a very long while, and she was sharing her testimony with me of how she worked at this organization while she was in undergrad college as just a clerk. And she began to stay with this company as she pursued her master's degree. As she moved up in the company and the organization, she learned so many different parts and pieces of this organization. As she worked there, there was one particular individual that was grooming her and was her mentor. So along the ways of being a clerk, administrative assistant, the receptionist, and moved up to the secretary, then moved up to be a program analyst and moved on up. This young lady right now as we speak, who I'm so proud to call her my friend, is the CEO of the organization. Wow. She's the chief executive officer of this organization. And she been at this company ever since she was a college student in undergrad. But she looked at the opportunity from a big picture that one day I'm going to be higher than where I'm at. So she accepted the hourly wage and moved on up. And then when she got out of undergrad school, she got a job there permanently with a entry-level salary. And she accepted that, and she learned, because knowledge is powerful. So when it was time to apply for that position, she knew every job in that organization because she wanted to learn, and she was mentored and she was groomed. So for a college student, the biggest thing I would suggest is for them to be very open-minded, to be proudful, and to have faith and don't give up. A lot of them nowadays feel like, after they get the interview, they don't get the job, they get disencouraged. You don't get disencouraged. You need to be more encouraged now, because you got an interview that some people didn't.
That's right.
And what you do is you follow up in an email and you keep on contacting them and saying, hey, I understand that I didn't get selected. However, if you find any other position in your organization that would fit my skills and education and abilities, I am still available and would love to work for your organization. This is what I can offer. Thank you letters. A lot of people don't even do a simple thank you letters anymore. So young people just need to be encouraged. Look at opportunities to build their resumes for, and take that as a stepping stone, Minister Carr, to move to their next level, to build their career, so that someday they will be where I am today and others are, and making the money and living the comfortable lifestyle you want. Now, if you can get there overnight, that's good and well and blessed.
Yes.
But everybody doesn't have that testimony, right? So sometimes you got to learn to be patient and wait on the Lord. And he said, and then I said, what? Wait. Right? Okay. Wait on the Lord and be of good courage. So that's what we got to do, Mr. Carr. That's what we got to do.
You know, and just listening to you continue to, you know, encourage the young people and college students. I was thinking about David and how, you know, he didn't turn king overnight. Even after Solomon came and anointed him with the holy oil that he was going to be king of Israel. It didn't happen overnight. It took a process, and we all have to remember that, you know, we have to build faith to faith. It's from faith to faith. We have to continue to move, continue to grow. I remember, you know, I wouldn't be where I am today because in my job experience, I started off in the church doing simple work. And then afterwards, I went and I did work at Jack's. I worked a little bit at your accounting service when you had that going. I worked at Chick-fil-A for years. And then now I'm in a different position now. And, you know, I'm continuing to grow. I'm going to school now to get myself higher. And, you know, it's a process. So don't neglect the little beginnings because the little beginnings are humble beginnings. Amen. You know, if you don't neglect those little beginnings that we have now, it's going to take us a little farther in life. That's correct. We just have to let God do what he does best. Let's put it like that. True. Just let him do what he does best. We're not in control. It's all in God's hands. But Miss Yarbrough, we just want to open up the floor, and if you want to have anything else to say to the young people out there, any encouraging words at this moment, you know, something to make them feel good, you know, even in these trying times that we're living in currently.
Okay, well, Minister Carr, the most thing that I can say, because I have young ladies that I have raised and that are in corporate America and doing, you know, young people just need to be encouraged and be patient. And like you said, trust the process. You know, we're dealing in the times that we're living in. We have some smart, intelligent young people, and they are very gifted and talented with what God has blessed them with, you know, and we want to stir them in the right direction. We want to continue to encourage them, and we want them to continue to have faith in the Lord, you know, and always acknowledge him. And always young people need to realize that if it didn't happen, it wasn't for them. You don't want anything that is not from the Lord. I've had jobs in my lifetime, in my career, that was not the blessing of God's. Because when God bless, he has no sorrow. So you want to always acknowledge God in all your ways and let him direct your path. You want to stick with scripture. So young people need to just be encouraged. They need to wait on the Lord. They need to have more patience. They need to find them a great mentor, someone they can talk to, someone that they can, you know, let them look over their resume. They need to do a lot of volunteering in the community. I mean, you know, work for the Lord, work for the ministry, do volunteering at the church, you know, teach a class, teach a course, or be there to open up and do something to develop your communication skills to get you past stage fright. You know, different things in the ministry is there to groom you and prepare you for your career, for you to work in this workforce. So I just want young people to be encouraged that it's coming. And it's due season, and when it comes, you're going to, you know, be a blessing to the ministry. And just always know whatever God does for you, acknowledge it, be a testimony, and help someone else.
Yes.
Help someone else. Reach back and get whoever you can to help them make it through to the top where you are. Whether you're offering advice for college classes, professors, schools, whether you're offering information just on a day-to-day work habits of how to have good integrity and how to have good ethics and how to live the standards of Christ. Live the life and be happy about it and wait on the Lord. Don't be in a hurry. You got many, many years to work. You got many days to live and to just embrace this world. So I just want young people to be encouraged, embrace their gifts and their talents, be creative, speak up, let your voice be heard, and let God use you in a mighty way. Be well-rounded, not only in ministry, but be well-rounded at work and in the community. And that's what I can tell the young people today, because I tell you, just looking at them, y'all are doing some great things. I'm telling you, you're making us work even harder. And you're doing some great things, because I learned from young people, and I've learned a lot of things from just my employees and staff, and, you know, just dealing with people I encounter with every day. So always be willing to learn and be teachable. And once you stay open-minded that way and be like a sponge, the world is just yours. I mean, you're going to go some places and you're going to do some things in ministry and with your career. So that's all I have to say, Minister Carr. I tell you, I appreciate your invite. I love to talk about just career development, love to talk about God, and I love to talk to young people to help them get where they are, because your dream is not too big to meet. Whatever you want, it can happen. And with prayer, it definitely can happen.
Amen. I believe that. Amen.
Yes.
I thank God for you. Really, truly, this was a privilege and a blessing to have you online. You've been an inspiration in my life. You know, just many hills and battles you've had to, you know, fight and overcome, and, you know,
Right.
to see what the Lord's doing in your life is a blessing. We thank God for you, and we're looking forward to what the Lord does next. And we're going to have you again to really build on this career development that you were talking about in this ending part. But we thank God for each and every one of you that viewed. We pray and hope that something was shared to encourage your hearts. Until next time, we'll see you.
Amen.